Hi everyone, I hope you're well. The video today focuses on detaching from toxic people or toxic relationships. I'm going to go through the different types of toxic relationships and how to best detach from them. So if this is something you're interested in, then please stay tuned. First of all, when it comes to detachment, it is very important to firstly identify the type of people, places, or things in your life for which you would be best to develop emotional detachment. Emotional detachment is important because you need to restore your emotional, personal, physical, and spiritual health. There might be situations in your life or people in your life that are causing you to feel really low, really drained, really negative, really depressed. So if these following 20 categories are anything you relate to, then it is very important that you detach in a healthy way by either leaving the situation or the person, finding somebody to support you through this transition, and putting your self-care first. There are certain types of toxic relationships in which it is important that you detach from in a healthy way, and I'm just going to go through the list right now. The first type of toxic relationship is that you find it hard to let go of because it is addictive. Anything addictive. Relationships, of course, are the most important in this sense, but sometimes it can be that you're addicted to people that are outside your intimate relationships or things. But of course, because I'm talking about mostly toxic relationships in this video, then this is about a relationship. If you feel that you are addicted to another person, then that means that the relationship is not healthy and you have to detach. Another type is that the other person is emotionally unavailable to you. Emotionally unavailable means that they aren't able to commit, that they aren't able to comfort you or listen to you. They aren't able to love you in a healthy, respectful manner. So you have to emotionally detach. Another type of toxic relationship is when it is threatening or intimidating to you, punitive or abusive. So if you are involved with somebody that makes you feel uncomfortable and is abusive towards you or threatening towards you, then you must detach. Another type of relationship that you must detach from is when it is non-productive and non-reinforcing for you. Another relationship is when the other person is overly dependent and they are smothering you. It is not your role in this life to fix another person's issues. If somebody is overly dependent, if they have issues with relating to others in a healthy way, then that is something that they have to deal with through therapy if they so wish to. If they are not able to do that, then it is not your role to save them. It is not your role to be their everything. If you are in a relationship where you are the chronic fixer, rescuer, or enabler, so a bit similar to the previous one, then this isn't something that is healthy. You want to be in a relationship that is equal in as much ways as possible. So it is not your obligation to go out there and save people. It is not your obligation to fix people and to stop them from drinking or to save them from their depression. So be very careful of this type of relationship. Another one is, again, when the other person appears to be helpless, lost, and out of control. So maybe it might be that you are with someone who is an alcoholic or a drug addict or a gambler, anything like that. If you're with someone who is destructive, then you have to detach. The other thing also, which is similar to this, is if the other person is self-destructive. So like I said, if they have an addiction of some sort, if they are self-destructive in other ways because they might be involved with other toxic people, and also if they are suicidal or they threaten suicide, that is also a relationship where you have to be really careful of. And for your own mental well-being, it would be important that you distance yourself. Another important one is when you are in a relationship where you constantly feel that you are being manipulated or controlled. This is something that you also have to get away from. If your partner is somebody who also makes you feel guilty all the time, and because of guilt you will not leave the relationship, this is not healthy. You can't not leave somebody because they might have said things that made you feel guilty about leaving them. That is not your responsibility. In a relationship in which you have a fantasy or a dream that the other person will change or will get better, that is also not a reason to stay. It's better to detach because this person might take forever to change, or they might never change at all. If you're in a relationship in which you and the other person are competitive for control, so if there is constantly a control imbalance, that is also not a relationship that you want to stay in. Another one is that if you are in a relationship where there is no forgiveness or forgetting, and all past hurts are always brought up over and over and over again, then you either see a counselor for this, a relationship counselor, or the other person gets help, or you leave the relationship and detach. If you're in a relationship in which your needs and wants are ignored, this is also important that you emotionally detach or physically detach. You have to be in a relationship which is reciprocal, where there is equality and respect of your needs and wants as well as the other person's. Now, I said at the beginning of the video that I would give you tips on how to detach from any of these previous unhelpful relationships. And once you have identified the people or the places or the things that you have a toxic relationship with, then you have to take each one individual and work through the following steps. First of all, you have to identify the irrational beliefs in a toxic relationship which might prevent you from becoming detached. And you have to address these beliefs and replace them with healthy or more rational ones. Identify all of the reasons why you are being hurt and your physical, emotional, and spiritual health is being threatened. You have to accept and admit to yourself that the other person, place, or thing is sick, dysfunctional, or irrational, and that no matter what you say, do, or demand, you will not be able to control or change this reality. Accept that there is only one thing that you can change in your life, and that is you, yourself. You can't control others, you can't change others. All you can do is change the situation that you are in. You can make changes, you can change yourself. The minute you try to change or control other people, you go crazy, so don't do it. Work out reasons why there is no need to feel guilt over letting go and emotionally detaching from a relationship. Affirm yourself as being a person who deserves to have healthy, wholesome relationships in your life. You are a good person and you deserve healthy relationships, both at home, both at work, and in your intimate relationships. You have to gain support for yourself as you begin to let go of your emotional enmeshment with these unhealthy or possibly toxic relationships. Continue to give no person, place, or thing any power to affect your emotional well-being. And letting go, of course, doesn't mean that you stop caring necessarily. It just means that you can't always do it for somebody else. To let go generally means that you don't have to cut yourself off completely. It just means that you aren't able to control the other person or the situation. Now, yes, I'm going to continue going through what letting go or detaching isn't, because a lot of people have trouble with this. Letting go or detaching is not enabling, but it's allowing yourself to learn from natural consequences. Letting go is admitting that you're powerless over the outcome of whatever happens. Letting go is not to try to change or blame other people. It is to make the most of yourself. Letting go is not to care for, but to care about. Letting go is to not fix, but to be supportive. Letting go or detaching is to not judge, but to allow another person to be who they are. Detaching is not to be in the middle arranging all the outcomes, but to allow others to affect their own destinies. Letting go is not to be protective. It's to permit another to face reality. Letting go is not to deny, but accept the person or situation. Detaching or letting go is to not criticize anybody else, but to try to become what you want to be. Focus on yourself. That is always where it comes back to. Letting go and detaching means that the focus comes back to yourself. Letting go or detaching is to not regret the past, to grow and live for the future. And lastly, to let go or detach is to fear less and to love yourself more. If you still have problems detaching, then you have to go back to step one and identify the places and the people and the situations which you would do better with emotionally or physically detaching from. So yeah, that's the end of the video, everybody. I hope you found it useful. If there's anything at all that you didn't understand or that wasn't said clearly enough, then please let me know. I'm happy to answer any questions. So yeah, that's it, everyone. Take care, have a good week, and see you soon.